The first shot of the trailer looks like a playable map with multiple points of interest. It doesn't feature the same visual clarity that was on display in the initial trailer. Rather, it has a painterly style that provides a nice contrast with the visual presentation that we have seen earlier while maintaining a clean, hyper-futuristic aesthetic with these large structures that look to have been manufactured in a manner more consistent with modern 3D printing technologies. If you have seen the now removed Vidoc from Bungie back in 2023, then you'll recognize this style as being very consistent with the concept art displayed there. A link to the concept art and that Vidoc are in the description of this video. We had previously speculated that Traxxas' involvement with the Marathon mission itself was far more intertwined given how Traxxas themselves described their technology in the 25th century as having transcended the mundane confines of the Earth. This is confirmed in the new ARG and the Cyber Acme Systems Incorporated mainframe terminal on the UESC's website. There you can find the archive directory that features a Welcome to Marathon Draft 003A text file. This is an onboarding message for those who will be crew of the Marathon during its 300-year journey to Tau Ceti. Within that document, we get this line: Marathon is powered by the collective strength of our partners: Traxxas Off-World Industries, Cyber Acme Systems, New Caloric Agricultural, and more. This confirms Traxxas and New Caloric branding and technology could have been present on the colony structures during the initial colonization period, but the visual consistency with their modern branding that would be 400 years old at this point seems unlikely. My guess is that some of these structures are new or built on top of the previous colony's buildings, and much of the destruction we might see could be tied to the ongoing runner operations, as opposed to the 4 attack in 2794 that destroyed the colony in the original games. That being said, we do know that the Sphit are here as seen in the original trailer, so the 4 are most likely involved somehow, but it is really unknown how consistent that will be with anything that we got from the original games. We also get the New Caloric symbol in the upper left corner, and it appears that this video feed is pulled from New Caloric security cameras. This would make sense considering New Caloric systems were being utilized by the UESC, and the right side features the Farsight 7 title. This is the same name as the previously hidden directory in the UESC terminal from this new ARG. This could possibly indicate that this Farsight 7 is a location. All of the videos in the sound.bin file that was inside of the Farsight 7 directory came from the initial trailer where we famously see the UESC runner leave a tunnel before dying in a flooded area. My guess would be that it occurred somewhere in this middle location, near what appears to be the submerged shipping containers that White Rabbit was on top of when they took the shot. The importance of one of these facilities could become relevant later on. This next shot also features similar looking red flowers to what we see from the first trailer as well. The prominence of flora and fungi continues to indicate to me that some larger narrative elements may be tied to the natural elements of Tau Ceti 4 itself. Unfortunately, we do not see any additional mushrooms in this trailer. The tracking feature that would display the Fellini entity on the escapewillmake.me website pops up to track one of the bugs that flies by. This could indicate that the camera itself is being controlled by an artificial intelligence to monitor what is occurring on screen. I will have more to say about the escapewillmake.me site towards the end. If this camera is being controlled by an AI, then it is most likely one of the 8 planet-side AI referenced in the Strauss letter about understanding and managing the limitations of integrated anti-rampancy measures from the 2023 ARG. Given that so much of the marketing has been tied to the Durandal quote, "Escape will make me God," there is a possibility that it is Durandal viewing this video. But no evidence exists yet stating that in this version of events, Durandal stayed in the Tau Ceti star system after 2794. The camera comes to a stop on a frame that features a partly submerged bunker in a view of the sky that depicts the Marathon ship, as seen in the original trailer, alongside a moon and a separate planet. It's important to note here that the UESC memoranda from the 2023 ARG makes note of a super-Earth planet called Argolis as an alternate colonization target if the situation on Tau Ceti 4 would require nuclear assaults, rendering it uninhabitable. The colony on Tau Ceti 4 is referred to as New Cascadia and is clearly a separate location from Argolis in that document. Due to the supermassive size of these planets, this could be why it is observable from the planet's surface in the way that it is. This would also account for why the moon is so large in comparison to the Marathon itself, which is made from the Martian moon Deimos. This shot of the runner fleeing shows the pursuer as having a more mechanical-looking leg than what we have seen from the runner images thus far. The noises are also much more distinctly robotic when compared to the human-sounding grunts of the runner who is fleeing. The blue splatter of the blood here represents to me the greatest visual difference between the first trailer and this one. The contrast between the blood and the leaf feels much more muted and provides a more gritty setting to this event. I wonder if they will do something similar to what they do in Destiny, where there's a huge stylistic difference between the gameplay and some of the drawn cutscenes. The runner falling against the wall here has the most unique look we have seen yet, and seems to be in stark contrast to the more militarized armored runners we got in the new promotional imagery. It seems like the two armored ones are the most futuristic soldier looking. This runner is the most casual stylistically, and Thief and Stealth are in between that. The profile and boots on this runner remind me a lot of the characters in the Gorillas, and I think that's pretty rad. The visual distortion we see from the runner point of view seems like the beginning of what occurs when the biomata systems begin to fail. The synthetic organs are failing and the runner's consciousness is being sent back to its physical body. In the moment prior to the complete shutdown of the biomata, this striking pink cat appears, Kali from the Sakaguchi website card that talks about their notable feline subject that retained 100% of their pre-transfer memories. Kali is a product of Sakaguchi's FIDO, or Fully Integrated Digital Organism technology. It is noted in the Sakaguchi informational card that not only were Kali's memories preserved, but also that cognitive enhancements were observed. The card ends with indicating that this is an ongoing research protocol and not currently available for public release. How did a Sakaguchi research project end up planetside in the hostile environment of Tau Ceti 4? Why does it cuddle up next to the dead biomata? And if its cognitive abilities are truly enhanced, can it communicate with people or possibly AI? Does this foreshadow cat rampancy, and isn't that the greatest sentence we've ever gotten to say about Marathon? The idea of perception being altered by technology and that creating a larger question as to where we draw the line for sentience is baked into the universe of Marathon. The primary mover of the narrative in the original trilogy is an AI named Durandal, who wrestles with this very question. And the last time a sentient, non-human life form met a rampant AI, we ended up on Lohawan. Check out Marathon 2 if you don't get that reference. As I mentioned earlier, the escapewillmake.me website that went live after this trailer released also featured a pink tracking square about halfway through the consciousness transfer that was labeled Fellini. Now, this sounds like feline, and I believe that it is referring to Kali, but I haven't found a language where Fellini directly translates to cat or feline. This could just be in universe language or an identifier specifically for Kali. Maybe the relationship between Kali and this runner will be relevant later on, or maybe this was a way to introduce an entity or concept that will impact the narrative later, or maybe Bungie knows that the internet loves cats. It's also interesting that the runner reaches for their gun when the cat appears, as if they are afraid or unfamiliar with it. The weapon also looks like it could be the BRRT SMG from the ASCII art text files that depict the weapons in the terminal on the UESC website. The beam that shoots into the sky while the runner is dying has an incredible sound, and many have speculated that this is a teleportation system. By 2794, when the events of the first game take place, humanity had been using teleporters for nearly 500 years. But we only ever see teleportation from planetside to an orbiting vessel after Durandal had upgraded his teleportation technology with fit technology. The original games featured a fuzzy static effect that would be followed with loading into the new area. This is all to say that we don't entirely know what human teleportation technology would look like, especially since the technology on the Marathon was made multiple centuries prior to whatever teleportation tech this could be. It's possible that humanity could be able to teleport far larger objects than people even, or this could be a laser weapon of some sort striking a ground target from space. We also see the runner that was featured in the badges from the press stuff at Bungie HQ last week in the reflection on the cat's eye. I believe this makes for 5 runners that we have seen prominently displayed after the initial trailer. There will be a live event and gameplay reveal on Saturday, April 12th at 10 a.m. Pacific Time. Be there or be a stinky little silkworm. Let me know what I missed in the comments, and check out my stream immediately following Bungie's stream on Saturday. Love ya.